Hi, SGS community. I'm your founder, Ashley Tate, and I'm here today with one of our founding members, Ellen Potepan. And Ellen is out of Baltimore, Maryland. And we have an exciting topic for you today. We are in week 1 of April, and our topic is building connection on the course. And so when I thought of this topic and who to bring on, Ellen is just a perfect person. And I think you're going to really enjoy learning about her golf journey and who she is as a person. And so to open it up, let's welcome Ellen. And Ellen, can you tell us just a little bit about yourself? Let's get to know you a little bit. Where are you from? Where do you call home? Where do you play golf?
Sure. So, Ellen Potepan, I'm born and raised in the Baltimore, Maryland area and live in Cockeysville and actually play golf at Baltimore Country Club, which has been a great experience and really where I got to meet you, Ashley, and really start my chapter 2 of golf. There you go. I married to Frank, who's a phenomenal golfer and coach on the side as well. And I have 2 sons, grown sons, and 2 daughter-in-laws that are great, and a little granddaughter. So life is fun and busy. My background is in medicine as a nurse and worked for 37 years in the pharmaceutical industry, primarily focused in oncology. So that's really a passion of mine, and helping patients prevail over cancer and making their journey a little bit easier. So that's been my life's work and something that's brought me a lot of satisfaction over the years.
So outside of being busy with family, what do you like to do, outside of work? What are some of your hobbies?
So I am an outdoor girl, love activities. I'm a bicyclist. I also play pickleball and anything outdoors. Love to snow ski, do some water skiing as well. So I'm an activities girl and really love all things, like I said, outside. That's kind of my happy place. So play a lot of golf, but also like to, like I said, travel. And food and wine is definitely also an area of pleasure and focus as well. I do love to cook and have really begun to do a lot more with wine tasting and that type of thing as well. So,
Well, you did not miss much skiing this year. I know you like to come to Beaver Creek on occasion, but the skiing was so bad this year. So, save your money, wait for some good powder to get back to Colorado for skiing. That's for sure. Tell us what your personality is like on the golf course.
so I'm a pretty serious golfer. I'm definitely competitive with myself. Kind of a student of the game, but I do like. I'm probably more focused when it's quiet and I'm in my zone. I'm actually working on my mental toughness because sometimes I do get distracted. So I'm really putting myself in a situation to be a little bit vulnerable, play with people maybe that I don't know, to kind of continue to work on, like I said, my mental toughness and focus. But I am a pretty serious golfer. I'm learning to get a little more relaxed. Actually, now that I'm retired, I feel like my game is improved because I am more relaxed on the course. So kind of trying to embrace that.
Do you think that was what distracted you a lot of times?
Work was definitely a distraction. At BCC, you can't have your phone out and about, but my Garmin watch would be buzzing, or I would be rushing from work to golf, and that definitely had a negative impact on my game. And so now I'm a lot more relaxed, and I do think that's helped translate into better golf, right? I'm not so tense and able to just, kind of, I think the tension was probably making my, my golf swing was not fluid and relaxed, and that's made a big difference. So letting the club do the work instead of all the pressure from my, my body and that type of thing. So being more aware of that certainly has helped.
Yeah, it is really important, but it's a hard thing to do. But golf does require you to kind of leave everything else behind and just focus on what you are doing in the moment and your surroundings and enjoy the people that you're with. What's something that like people wouldn't maybe guess about you, Ellen? Anything special?
One thing is they wouldn't guess that I love to drive sports cars. It's something fun and exciting. And also maybe wouldn't guess that I have done some coast to coast bike rides for cancer. So really put my body and my mind in a most vulnerable place um, ride across country and day after day get back on the bike, even though your body and your mind are tired. And definitely life changing for me, and a time for tremendous personal, physical, and mental growth. So
That's awesome. I
something.
didn't know either of those things about you. Thanks for sharing that. So back to your golf journey here. When did golf first come into your life?
So I was 24, had just started my job in pharmaceuticals, and Frank was like, you need to take some golf lessons. Golf's going to be a big part of your work life as well. And so I took like 5 private lessons, and we played every weekend, Saturday and Sunday. And then I played some, client golf during the week. And so really enjoyed it, loved it. But then when we started our family, the time crunch became a real issue. And so I had to kind of pause my golf journey when our family started and I was working full time. So I played some charity golf, but I didn't really get an opportunity to play much golf. And then COVID hit, and we started to play more golf. We joined Baltimore Country Club, and I was on the wait list. So that was, basically a kind of a 30-year hiatus, if you will. And really where I had a chance to meet you, Ashley. And I was able to do the clinics as a waitlist member. And the clinics really, to me, were a time of tremendous growth. I was vulnerable, just getting back into the game. But you've really created a supportive environment. And the clinics with 3 to 5 women, working on your short game or just, all things golf, really, I think, built my confidence, and you helped me kind of build out my bag and work on getting more wedges and focus on my short game. And so it really created a great environment for me to grow and learn and meet a lot of really fun people. And I think in the beginning it was a little bit intimidating,
For sure.
but I think with your support and the women's program at BCC, meeting other women that were in a similar situation, maybe getting into golf later in life, really was, tremendous shift for me. And now I'm playing, 4 to 5 times per week and really doing a lot of the cross training that you've brought into focus for me with Golf Forever and just fitness, weight training, that type of thing. So I really feel like a student of the game. I have my book of notes from the lessons that I've taken with you, and continue to rely on that and reach out to you with, like, I'll send you my scorecard and, like, for a good day or a challenging day, and your guidance and support have really made the game fun and a real, like I said, passion for me now.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's great to reflect on the rounds. Like I want to be there as your coach, cheering you on and sharing all the excitement that's going into your game. But it's also like, oh, let's reflect and see where we could get better. Always, all of us are like that, even the best players in the world. So we want to hear those things just for our audience. Like if you're working with a coach, please share these moments with your golf coach. Talk to them outside of the lesson, because we want to know what's going on. Because where you came into golf again, it can be definitely intimidating. And, you're surrounded by a lot of women who've played for a long time and they play often. And so you do have to be vulnerable when you're learning a sport. And so I think that was great advice. Just, find a group that you can be vulnerable with and a coach that can kind of help you along the way. And you never know where it's going to take you. You clearly reignited that passion that you had for golf from a long time ago. And it's just fun to see how into it you are. And I'm glad I was able to help, really. Tell us where, obviously we kind of have an idea of where you started, but where's your game at now? What's your handicap? What kind of game do you have?
So right now I'm at 17, and it's kind of crazy. I retired in July and my index was like a 22.8, 23. And really, in the last several months of, last year playing, just, I think, being more relaxed, having the time, not being rushed, my game really started to improve. It was just amazing. And I just remember you saying, I don't hit a super long ball, but, even if your goal to be get on the green, on a par 4 and 3 and then a 2-putt, right? And so I started to really focus on that instead of always I think my expectations used to be unrealistic, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
And so now I feel like, my game is definitely improving. My short game has come a long way, thanks to your guidance and really spending a lot of time at the chipping area, just focusing on that and learning, those approach shots and having the confidence, and not being tentative on my putts and that type of thing. And so, I think the pre-workout is also really important, doing the golf forever before I even get to the course and really taking that time to practice and be in the moment. I'm still working on rotational power. I'd like to get more distance. I have a lot of strength in my, lower body and just trying to really focus on that. And the golf forever helps. And anyway, it's a work in progress, but the game isn't, it's fun to be playing better too. I don't get frustrated, and Frank knows my game really well too. So if we're playing together and I'm struggling with one area or another, he's great to help refocus and maybe one or two things that I need to focus on, not 10 things. And that was something I feel like you've always done is don't change 10 things, but change a few at a time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I think you touched on some really important points there. Warming up for your round, being ready to go, because how we start our round, has a huge impact on the rest of the round, right? So we want to get off to a decent start, build a lot of confidence that way. And, we can all, strive to be stronger and hit the ball a little bit further. But at the end of the day, the important part really and the strokes comes in the short game. So I think that was awesome that you've been focusing on that. And you did get fitted for a putter as well, which a lot of people don't do or know about, but that's really important to dial that part of your game in. So what's maybe one memorable round or moment that you've had on the golf course?
So I would say something that was truly life-changing for me was having the opportunity to do a round of golf with you. I had taken a lot of lesson and a lot of instruction, but having a 18-hole round where in real time you could make some tweaks or adjustments, but also the strategy piece, right? Course management, which I really feel like, that was a game changer. I don't know. It just instilled so much confidence in me, but also watching your setup and your pregame and you voiced over a lot of the things that you were thinking about and why you chose the clubs that you did. And so those types of the pro-ams and just time with a pro like yourself on the course is such a boost to my overall game and the way I approach my shots. And if I know I can't get there and to make, good selections so that I, set myself up for success. And so I think there's so much to the game of golf beyond just the stroke that I think you brought to my attention and my focus. So that was really, I think, life-changing. And then, the opportunity to play in two pro-ams with you just elevated my overall game and experience and appreciation for what golf brings to my life, but also the journey, right? And enjoying every aspect of it.
Yeah, I think there's a misconception about what your golf ability needs to be to play in some pro-ams, right? To be able to play next to and alongside these professionals. And so that's kind of the barrier we're trying to break down with SGS is like you just said, the value of playing with a golf professional, it's really invaluable. You learn so much out there. So trying to just create these opportunities where our members can have access to us on the golf course, that's really a big piece of it. And, it's hard depending on where we're at and what the facility we're at, the access that we'll have to on-course instruction. And we were very fortunate at BCC to have two courses there and be able to go out and practice some shots and trouble shots and situations that you see yourself in when you're, out there playing. But a lot of times we're just not able to do that. And so how can you create these playing opportunities and these pro-ams so that you can, get to be on the course with your pro? Because, it is really neat to see and strategize and we don't always have to go for it, especially if there's a lot of trouble. We just need to play sometimes a little bit smarter, and that's how you save your strokes.
Well, you said, I just remember playing together, and my first shot wound up in the sand, and you said, all right, change clubs, change this focus. You're going to play both balls in and see how you do. And I actually scored the same. The second shot landed on the green, but I got out of the bunker. But I think it was those kinds of things where you're like, you can do this. Like, don't be intimidated by the sand. This is what, this is how you're going to get out. This is, what I mean? And so I think those types of things build confidence, not only skill, but confidence, right? And so I think believing in yourself and not letting a bad stroke or bad shot impact your round negatively, right? And I think you're super, exceptional at helping that mindset shift as well.
Yeah. We can always, we can be as smart as we want to be and strategize. We're still going to have mishits, and we're going to end up in situations that, we're not thrilled to be in. But having that confidence and the practice out of those spots, that does really help. I think the most frustrating is when you make a bad decision, a poor decision, and then it obviously ends up poorly too. And then it's just like a double whammy. So, but if you make the right decision and you're smart about it and you have a mishit, then, it's so much easier to overcome, in my opinion. So let's transition just a little bit and talk about like relationships on the golf course. So who do you love to play golf with, and what makes a round like special at the end of the day?
So I do love to play golf with Frank, my husband, because I feel like I'm the most relaxed with him. He knows my game also really well. And I feel like because I'm relaxed, or if, I am, in between clubs, or I can talk through it with him. And I feel like that's helped my game get better, So I would say, and it's just fun. We're high-fiving, we're celebrating the good, the good shots and the great putts, and also just, like I said, talking through the game in a relaxed way, especially as I feel like I'm still dialing things in, right? And so that's been really fun. And also, if there's the one thing I will say with couples golf, there's not a ton of couples that play. There's some, but we've gone on some golf events or golf trips where we get paired with, maybe say 2 men, and some men don't like to play with ladies. So, it could be a little bit, intimidating at first. And so I almost have to dial my game up so that I feel like I'm, able to interact and be part of that foursome, right? And so we were at Streamsong and got paired up with, 2 men in particular that they didn't want to shake my hand. They didn't want to, connect at all. And I started, the caddy was phenomenal, and I sang quite a few long putts, and then it was like, oh, well, maybe she can play. But, I just think, like, right, being in an environment that's fun and supportive, it's a game changer, right? And so, I just think it's finding your people. I've definitely been paired with even some ladies that I'm like, not so fun, right? But I think that the golf professionals at BCC who, like, they'll say, these couple people would be good for you to play with, right? And I think you get to know me as an individual and some of the other folks, and I think it's been helpful to be paired up with people that you are kind of assess from your experience to say this would be a good fit for you, right? And so setting up for success.
It doesn't take much, but yes, as a golf professional, just paying attention, who is this person? How's their personality? How's their golf game? And like, it's such an easy match. And then it could be a forever match potentially, right, if you really have a great time, right? So that it is really important. And we do factor that in, when we're planning tournaments or trips too, as far as which couples that we know we're going to get along great, or same thing with our women. So, just that's one thing about SGS. It's paying attention and listening, and it helps make the experience. But, I know there's a lot of women out there that, maybe only play with their spouse because they are so intimidated to get into some of these other areas or circles. And so, how has like your group of golfers kind of changed as your game has progressed?
So I mean, I think that's a great point. As I've become more confident, my game's improved. I'm definitely saying yes to some other, ladies groups. I do participate in the 9-hole group at BCC, and so I've really met some fun women, and it's been good. It's been really good. And a lot of times, it creates that energy and that focus, but also outside of golf we've gotten together, and so I've gotten to know them better, and as I've gotten to know them better, I feel like it just makes the round even more fun, and we help each other, I think if somebody's frustrated or having a difficult time, and so it's been really a great experience, and I've met so many nice people that it's been really good. And like I said, I do think a lot of the clinics are a great way to get to know a small group of women, and we're all in a vulnerable place, right? And so I think that oftentimes creates good pairings for other golf events.
Yeah, I agree. And it's just, yeah, finding that surrounding that you're comfortable with. And for you, it's like a group that's positive, maybe a little competitive, a little serious, with themselves, but also that just like the studious person that loves to learn and have great conversation and maybe have a glass of wine after, right? Is that your
Absolutely. That sums it up perfectly.
Let's go on to, I know you've talked a lot about this already in the conversation, but let's talk about mentorship a little bit in golf and in your life. And so, let's talk about a mentor maybe on the course, and maybe you kind of touched on that already, but maybe off the course as well.
So obviously on the course, I continue to defer to you because you have been such an amazing mentor to me. Like I said, and instill confidence in me where like I was just getting back into the game after, a very long pause. And I think you saw my kind of studious approach and that I'm an athlete, but, I needed to dial in my game. And so, but through that, we built a friendship as well. And I think that that's been really meaningful. And in my work life, there's one particular woman, Linnell, who just an incredible leader, and women in medicine and women in just the work life, right? And how do you balance it all? She's a mom of 4. And so, she kind of stretched me. She's like, you can do more. And I was hesitant because I didn't want to compromise my family life, right? And she's like, you can deliver more to the organization. Let me create a role that gives you an opportunity to grow and thrive and impact the organization, but not compromise your family life, right? And so I appreciated that she saw in me a growth opportunity that maybe I didn't see in myself or I was hesitant to explore, right? And so I think sometimes it's finding people who invest in you, who care about you and stretch you in a way that's meaningful, right? And she created 2 roles in the organization that I thrived in, but they weren't available before, right? And so I think that's true mentorship, right? When someone really meets you where you are, but encourages you to get to the next level, right? And I think that you've clearly done that for my golf game, and Linnell did that for me in my professional life. And so, I just think mentorship is so important. And I have mentored a lot of folks in my, business life, but also now with golf, like encouraging people to sign up for things, or as SGS has gotten kicked off, like talk about this amazing opportunity to be part of something bigger than yourself, right? And so the people that you meet and the opportunities that present themselves, but you have to, kind of reach out for that, right? And have people to bring you in. And so I think mentorship is such an important role in life. And I think some of it has been lost a little bit with so much remote work and social media. Like, I think the personal interaction and engagement that you have, whether it's on the golf course, sitting across the table and having a glass of wine, that's really where true connection happens and mentorship grows.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we're trying to create that. This isn't just a virtual community where, we want to have as many in-person opportunities as possible, so that we can develop those relationships and those friendships, even though we're miles apart. No, I think that's an incredible story that you have in your work life. It's awesome that door was open, and we are trying to take that into account with SGS too, and kind of mentor and network with some younger professionals and offer them growth opportunities. And we're hoping that, you know, our brand will go a long way in the professional industry as well. You know, we know that our members are our focus, but there's so much more that can be had in that area with our pros and our partners.
Well, and you bring such energy. Like when you were at the PGA show, right? I just think it's not just a post, right? It's energy, it's video, it's all of that, and I think that makes a difference, right? And I think what SGS offers is connection, access to golf professionals like yourself and the team that you've put together. But I also think that there's build up to those pro AMs or the golf trips and instruction, right? I think there's so much that you're bringing to the table in a kind of surround sound approach that's missing, right? It's not something that's been available in the past for women, and I'm excited to be a part of it and to help you build that out and just to expand the awareness, right? Because it is so new and it fills a gap in golf that has been there for decades.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, and you're one of the reasons I'm doing this, because it's like having the ability to help someone on their journey like this is so impactful. Like it does change your life and how you spend your time. And so being able to offer that to more people is just the goal, you know, in the broader sense. And there's no reason why we can't do that with the way that the world is connected. Luckily through social media, like let's use it to our advantage in a positive way, to help more people grow in their golf game. Let's say, do you have one piece of advice maybe that you've received about golf or about life that has really turned out to be something special?
You know, I would say it's focusing on the positive, right? I think so often we let the one or two bad shots change. Instead, focus on all the things that are going well. And if you do have a bad shot, let it be and move on. And I think that's life, right? Like it's how we deal with the obstacles that become the true opportunities for us, right? And so I think continuing to have that positive mindset, and that golf is a journey, right? It's not just about your score or your handicap, right? It's the experience and the overall environment that you're creating. So staying positive, I mean, I think, and just open to growth is something that is my mantra and advice that I've received along the way.
Mm-hmm. So, you know, navigating women's golf environments and offering advice such as that, you know, do you have any advice about your experience navigating the leagues, the 9-hole league, LGA, you know, like what has really worked for you?
I think, you know, like I said earlier, you know, asking the golf professionals, you know, this is where I am in my golf game. I want to be in a positive environment. Who do you think is maybe a good person for me to reach out to? And like Lee Rohrbach, phenomenal resource and really positive, and helped me, you know, navigate and meet more people at BCC for golf. I just think we're being open to growth. I don't know, like, you know, I think seeking out people who have a similar mindset that, you know, you are going to set yourself up for success and have fun, right? And so I had a couple of challenging experiences early on, you know, and I was intimidated. And so maybe I didn't come with my best self, right? And so it's also how we show up and what kind of energy do we bring to the golf round as well. So, and I think being with people like, you know, who truly love the game, right? I mean, I think, you know, like you bring so much positive energy, and there's a lot of folks that I think benefit from that, right? Because it's, you know, I always say like that, the circle around us. And so I try to be that person as well, and bring that energy and that fun to the game, and invite other people who maybe are hesitant, you know, to join.
I think that's great. But yeah, the great advice. So talk to your leadership, talk to your PGA professionals, kind of help them set you up for success, and get to know people that are hopefully like in the same boat, right? And positive. But I think that's awesome advice. Knowing like who you are on the golf course and who do you like to surround yourself with, right? That's really important, like you said.
Something else that it's taken me a little while, but continue to invest in your game. Taking the lesson, like at the beginning of the season, you have the rust off, but take some additional lessons, right? Just to dial in your game and invest in yourself. I think that's something, that's worth pursuing. And again, I give that credit to you as well.
Yes, it's a very expensive game, but if you have someone, like this relationship, this pro student relationship that you know and trust, and they advise you to spend money somewhere, it's not because we're getting a huge kickback on this product. It's because we genuinely think that it would be better for your game. Like it's going to give you more enjoyment. It's going to make life easier on you. And that's the whole goal. Cause you can just see as you progress and your game gets better, it makes us all happier. Right.
Well, doing a golf fitting with you it's a game changer. I mean, the golf clubs, the PXGs, I have my old set that it's not that old, but I remember you saying they're not heavy enough and they're light. So I have them in South Carolina, and when I play with them, my game is different. And so Frank's like, well, I think we need to have a second set of PXGs. So, but that was such an amazing experience. Not like you said, including in that was the putting, the putter fitting. And so it's an investment in the game, but it does make a difference. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm a big advocate for that. I'm a player myself, so I know these things, and it's helped me keep my game at a really high level without having to do all the training and spend all the time like I used to. It's like the equipment and the technology has gotten so good that I haven't lost a yard in 15 years, which is a miracle. So let's go back to SGS just for a second. What drew you in, and what made you just say yes to this community?
I think to be part of something truly special in ladies golf, right? Founded by PGA professionals, and to create an environment for women to thrive and grow and really have fun playing golf. I think, many times women's golf is an add-on, right? And this is the focus. This is a true opportunity to be part of something special and have access to world-class training and webinars and podcasts and opportunities for women's golf trips and, all that brings, right? I just think it's creating that environment focused on women, supportive, inclusive, and the energy is palpable. I mean, the energy you bring and the team that you've put together, it's palpable. I mean, it draws you in. It feels great. And I'm excited for what your vision is now become a reality and to really help shape that and to also socialize it broadly, right? So that other women realize what a phenomenal opportunity SGS brings. And we're at the beginning of it all. And so it's really special. And kudos to you, because I know this is something you and I talked about probably 2 years ago. You were putting your business plan together and really trying to, be very thoughtful and deliberate about how you built this out. And I'm excited to be a part of it. I'm excited, like I said, to help bring it to life and to bring other members the opportunity to be a part of it. So thank you. Thank you for the energy and the time and the passion that you bring to create such a special organization.
Well, thanks, Ellen. Those mean a lot more to me than I can ever express, those words. But yeah, it's been so fun to watch the last 2 months, just the vision start to come to life. And what's so great about how we're scaling and how we're growing is that we can easily make changes and move in the direction that our members want us to go in and spend our energy there and our time and our money and all that too. But it's like, making sure we're being deliberate and focusing on what's really important for members and our pros. And it is very exclusive. So we're very selective on who we bring in, and that definitely goes on the professional and partner front as well. We want to make sure, we have that same positive energy, but, just wealth of knowledge in our community too, because that's what's going to make us all better. So, this has been so fun so far. Tell me about like the actual founding membership. How do you feel about being a founding member? How important is that to you?
It's very important. I mean, I feel like it's foundational and it's kind of this grassroots effort, right? And to bring something to the women in the golf world that has been missing, right? And that I'm passionate about it. I'm excited about the future. I appreciate the opportunity to be part of something really special, and I'm excited to put the work in, like I said, to do the socializing, but to really see it come to fruition and grow. And I just appreciate the opportunity, and I can't thank you enough for what you've done for me personally, but for the broader golf community of women that will thrive under your leadership. I think the lives that you touch by the passion and the work that you put into the game and the love that you have. I mean, you've invested so much in me as an individual, and I'm a different person because of it. And I'm so grateful because I love golf. I love being out there, what it's done for me in my personal life, but my friendships and just who I am as a person. So I'm excited for the lives that you'll change through your passion and the work that you do for women playing golf. Because I do think there's women who stay on the sidelines because they don't feel like they're in a supportive environment. And SGS is that environment that brings people together, that creates support and energy and passion for the game. So thank you. I'm excited for the future.
Thank you for trying to make me cry on this podcast. But it's so fun just as your friend, as your mentor, as your coach to hear, how that impact, that we've had and that we have on all of our students. It's a big deal. And it's why we do what we do every day, because we know we can add a lot of value and bring enjoyment and open up all these opportunities for you. So I'm very excited about where SGS is going to grow and all the lives that we're hopefully, able to reach now in this broad network that we have. And there's a membership for everyone. Founding members like yourself hold a special place in our hearts, and we hopefully will, give back and treat you as such throughout your membership. Let's close it up. I think that this has been an incredible podcast. You're so great in front of the camera. You're so welcoming and encouraging. And so is the entire BCC community. I loved being out there. I loved working out there. So I'm really glad that our paths were able to cross there. But let's do a fun closeout, rapid fire finish. I'm just going to list off a few things and you just let me know your favorites. Okay.
Okay. Sounds good.
Favorite golf course?
Pebble Beach. Got to play there in November. It was amazing.
You had good weather too?
We did. Had great weather and a really fun caddy, and it was spectacular. I mean, just spectacular.
I think that place is on everyone's bucket list. Dream playing partner?
What about Nelly Corda?
I think that's a great choice. I would love to play golf with Nelly Corda. We almost did. We were on the same tour back in the day when it was Symetra Tour before her LPGA days, but we never got paired together, unfortunately. What is your go-to pre-round ritual? You may have already kind of answered this, but
definitely the Golf Forever rotational power has been a big part of it, and then the warm up right at the range that you've taught me to do. I do that religiously. Arm circles and hip. Opening up my hips and just doing all of that. I do that religiously. And like I said, the Golf Forever has been really helpful.
What about your post-round ritual?
It's probably more wine than it should be maybe stretching afterwards. But
That's okay. You
Yeah.
earned it.
But I do reflect. Frank and I reflect a lot on our round together and what went well and different things. So that's been really fun. Kind of a recap at the end as we're having a glass of wine. So
And I think that's where the whole 19th hole, comes into play. It's like, let's have a drink. Let's talk about all those moments we enjoyed on the golf course. Maybe some of the funny ones or the ones that went wrong too, but it's just about that camaraderie. So
absolutely.
awesome. Where can people connect with you? Obviously, we kind of make it easy in SGS, but
So absolutely, I'm on Instagram and LinkedIn and Facebook. So and I'm always open to connecting with people, live and whether on the phone or virtually as well. Actually, this I think with video connection, it makes a difference if we can't be in person. As you're building a worldwide network here of women. So but love to connect and continue to grow with SGS and excited for what the future holds.
yeah, one of my visions early on was just having members network with each other, and hopefully using that network. So if someone, an SGS member is traveling to Baltimore for work, it's like Ellen would be more than happy to go out and play a round of golf with you at BCC and connect and just get to know each other. I think that would be so special, and
Absolutely.
even if you're not traveling for work, but it's a destination or a bucket list place for you. I know you'd be more than willing to host. So
Absolutely. I would love that. So got to get you back to BCC as well.
one of these days, yes, I will for sure. It has a special place in my heart. Well, I appreciate you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for being a founding member and a huge influence on the SGS community. And yeah, good luck this season in improving your golf game. We're getting down from 17, which is a hard thing to accomplish, but I know you're going to work hard at it. So thank you,
Absolutely.
Ellen.
Thank you, Ashley. It's been amazing.
All right. Have a great one. Bye,
You too.
everyone.
Bye-bye.